The jungle was alive with sound. Birds with bright wings flew above. Insects hummed in the thick air, and shadows moved where the trees grew tall and close together. The human explorer pushed forward slowly, every step heavy, his boots sinking in the wet ground, his lips dry, his throat burning with thirst. He had traveled far from the landing site, his ship resting on the edge of the forest, the others waiting for him to return, but he could not wait. He wanted to find water. He needed to find it before the sun fell behind the alien mountains. Beside him walked his alien guide, a tall figure with silver skin and dark eyes. The guide spoke in a deep voice, warning him again and again. "Do not go near the spring, human, it is forbidden. It does not belong to your kind." But the man only half listened, because his thirst was louder than the warning. The deeper they went, the stranger the jungle became. Vines glowed faintly as if carrying fire inside them. The air smelled sweet and heavy, like fruit left too long in the heat. And then at last he heard it, the soft sound of running water. The man hurried ahead, his heart beating fast, pushing branches out of his way, and there it was, a pool hidden between ancient stones, its surface shining with silver light. Though no sun reached this place, the water was clear yet glowing, as if stars had fallen into it. The guide grabbed his arm sharply. "Stop, do not touch it. Many before you have tried, none returned the same. It is cursed." The alien's voice shook with fear, his eyes wide as if he saw death itself in the pool. But the man could not stop, his body screamed for water. His skin burned with heat, his lips cracked, his mind repeating only one word: drink, drink, drink. He pulled free from the guide, stepping close to the edge, the stones cold under his boots. He knelt, hands trembling, the air around the pool colder than the jungle, yet strangely soft. Like a breath brushing against his face, he leaned down, scooped the shining water with his hands, and drank. The taste was like nothing he had known, sweeter than honey, sharper than ice, alive as if lightning ran through his veins. He gasped as the water slid down his throat, every nerve in his body lit with fire and light, and then he heard it, a voice, not in his ears but inside his mind, soft, low, and sultry, a whisper that curled around his thoughts like smoke. "Now you belong to me." He froze, the water spilling from his hands. His heart stopped for one breath, his eyes wide, looking around, but the jungle was silent. Even the birds had gone quiet. The guide shouted, "What have you done, fool? You cannot take it back now." But the man could not answer. The voice filled him, sweet and terrifying. "You have drunk from the forbidden spring, and the spring is mine. Now you are mine too." The ground seemed to shift beneath him, the stones glowing faintly, the pool rippling, though no wind touched it. The man staggered back, his legs weak, his chest tight, the jungle spinning around him. He reached out for support, but his hand touched only air, the world bending, twisting, stars filling his vision, too bright, too close. He fell to his knees, gasping, his body no longer his own. The guide tried to pull him away, tried to drag him back into the safety of the trees. But the man's weight grew heavy, as if roots held him down. His eyes clouded with light, and still the whisper came, soft, endless, promising power, demanding obedience. "Do not fight. Do not resist, you chose, and now the choice is sealed. Your soul is tied to me," the whisper said, each word sinking deep like hooks in his heart. The man tried to shout, tried to speak, but only a broken cry left his lips, the air around him thick, pressing down, his vision fading, and in the final moment, before he fell fully into darkness, he saw the reflection in the water. It was not his face staring back, but a woman's face, beautiful, strange, with eyes like burning stars and a smile that was both cruel and tender. The jungle returned to sound, the wind shaking the trees, the birds crying once more, but the man did not hear. He collapsed on the cold stones, still breathing but no longer the same, the forbidden spring shining beside him, glowing brighter as if pleased with its new prize. And in the silence that followed, the whisper lingered inside his head. Gentle yet sharp, sweet yet deadly. "Now you belong to me." The man's eyes closed, his body still, while somewhere beyond the stars something stirred, awakened by his choice, waiting for him to rise again. Darkness wrapped around him, not like sleep, not like death, but something endless. He floated in nothing, weightless, breathless, yet alive. Then came the sound, not outside, but inside. Soft at first, like a song carried by wind, the same sultry whisper he had heard at the spring. "Wake, my chosen, open your eyes, see the gift you have taken." His eyes opened, but the jungle was gone, no trees, no guide, no pool of glowing water. Instead he lay on smooth black stone, stretching forever in every direction, Above him the sky was filled with stars, but not the stars he knew. Each burned with colors that should not exist. Violet suns, green flames, spirals of light twisting like living things. He sat up, dizzy, heart racing. "Where am I?" he whispered. But the voice answered before the words left his lips. "You are inside the bond, the spring was a door, and you stepped through. Now you walk in my domain." He looked around, searching for her, but he saw only shadows moving along the stone. Tall shapes shifting without form. Some close, some far, always just beyond his reach. "Show yourself," he demanded, though his voice cracked with fear. Laughter echoed low and warm, wrapping around him like a chain. "In time, human, you will see me. But first you must listen. Your life is tied to mine now. Your blood sings with my power, your soul drinks my breath." The man stood, fists clenched, anger mixing with fear. "I did not choose you. I only wanted water." The voice grew softer, almost kind. "And water you found. Water that never dies. Water that carries me. Do not pretend, human. You wanted more than thirst. You wanted strength, you wanted destiny, and destiny has answered." His knees trembled, because deep inside he knew she was right. Part of him had always wanted more than survival, more than being just another explorer. Part of him longed to touch something greater. The shadows around him shifted again. This time closer, and from them stepped creatures, thin bodies made of smoke and bone, faces hidden but eyes burning red. They hissed and moved toward him, slow at first, then faster. The man stumbled back, searching for a weapon. But his hands were empty, the ground beneath him shaking. "What are they?" he shouted. Fear sharp in his chest, the whisper came calm. "They are guardians of the prison. They sense the bond. They come to test you, survive and you may walk forward. Fail and you will be swallowed." One of the creatures lunged, claws cutting through the air. The man raised his arm without thinking, and light burst from his skin, a streak of silver energy that burned the creature. It screamed and dissolved into smoke. He gasped, staring at his hand glowing faintly, his heart pounding. What did I do?" the voice purred. "Pleased. I guided you, I moved through you. Our bond gives you strength, strike again, do not fear. I will show you how to fight." The other creatures rushed at once, and his body moved faster than thought. His arms swung, his legs kicked, each strike glowing with strange power, each touch burning them to ash. He felt alive, powerful, unstoppable, but with every blow, he also felt something else, his mind slipping, his thoughts not fully his, her whispers filling the empty spaces, telling him where to move, when to strike, when to breathe. The last creature fell, vanishing into smoke, silence returning. The man bent over, chest heaving, sweat cold on his skin. The voice spoke again, not a whisper now, but almost a caress. "See, human, with me you are more than flesh, more than mortal. Together we cannot be broken." He pressed his hands to his head, shaking. Stop talking in my mind, I am not yours." Her laugh echoed, soft and sharp. "Not mine, you drank my spring. You opened my cage, you carry me now, there is no you without me." The man fell to his knees, the stone under him cold, his reflection flashing in the smooth surface, but it was not his alone. Her face hovered in his reflection, faint, beautiful, alien, her eyes glowing like twin suns. "Who are you?" he whispered, voice cracking. "I am the keeper of the spring, the first and the last, the one your kind feared, the one they locked away, and now I am free through you." His chest tightened, his breath short. He remembered the guide's words, the warning, the curse, and he realized the guide had been right. This was no blessing, this was a chain. Still, part of him burned with the thrill of the fight, the power, the victory. The keeper's voice softened, curling around his fear. "Do not resist, human. Resistance brings pain. Surrender and you will see wonders. Whole worlds will kneel before you, but only if you trust me." The stars above seemed to pulse brighter, the shadows around him shifting again, but now they whispered too, thousands of whispers rising, calling his name, pulling him deeper into the bond. The man closed his eyes, fighting to breathe, torn between fear and desire, knowing he was trapped, knowing escape was already gone. And as the whispers grew louder, the ground shook, cracks spreading across the endless stone, light breaking through from below, something vast rising beneath him. The keeper's voice whispered one last time, both gentle and terrifying, "Stand, human. The bond is only beginning, your trials have only started." The man opened his eyes wide, staring at the light breaking the stone, his heart racing. And he understood one thing, whatever had been awakened here, it was not going to let him leave alive. The ground trembled beneath his feet. the cracks in the endless stone spreading like veins of fire, light spilling out in blinding streams. The man staggered back, raising his arms against the glow, his heartbeat loud in his chest. From the light came shapes. Not smoke this time, not shadows, but creatures made of flesh and metal, tall, armored like soldiers yet moving like predators, their eyes burning gold, their bodies marked with glowing symbols he could not understand. The keeper's voice wrapped around him, calm yet sharp. This is the first trial, human. Every drinker must face it, every chosen must fight. Prove you are worthy of the bond, or you will be torn apart. The man clenched his fists, fear burning in his throat. I don't want this. I never asked for this. But the keeper's laugh filled him, smooth as silk. You drank, you chose, even if you did not know, and now the path is carved. There is no turning back. The first creature stepped forward, its feet heavy like thunder, its face hidden behind a mask of steel. It raised a spear made of black light, pointing it at the man. He stumbled back, searching for escape, but the endless stone stretched on in every direction. No door, no wall, no end, only him and the guardians. The keeper whispered low, Do not fear. I am with you. Listen to me. Move as I say. Fight as I guide, the guardian charged. Fast and brutal, the man's body moved without thought, his arm rising, silver light flashing from his hand. The spear clashed against it, sparks flying like stars, the impact throwing him to the ground, pain burning through his shoulder. He gasped, his body heavy, but the voice pressed in. Fierce now. Stand, and strike. Do not let fear rule you. He pushed to his feet, barely in time, as another guardian swung a blade that glowed red. He ducked, rolled, his hand striking out, silver fire bursting from his palm. The blade shattered, the guardian stumbling back. The man stared at his glowing hands, fear and wonder mixing inside him. What am I becoming? He whispered. But the keeper answered instantly. You are becoming mine, and through me you are becoming strong. The guardians closed in, 3 at once, their weapons raised, their voices growling in a language older than stars. The man braced, sweat dripping down his face, his muscles trembling. Left, the keeper's voice commanded. He obeyed, moving just as a spear thrust past him. Strike, she ordered, and his arm swung, silver fire cutting into a guardian's chest. It fell in a storm of sparks. Each move was not his alone. Each strike was half his, half hers, their bond pulling tighter, his mind screaming for control, but his body moving as if he was only a guest inside himself. The second guardian roared, charging with a hammer of black stone. The man raised both hands, light bursting like lightning. The hammer shattered, the guardian thrown back into the glowing cracks, its body vanishing into flame. The third leapt high, blade raised above its head. The man froze, too slow, too weak. But the keeper shouted inside him, her voice sharp. Do not fear. Trust me. And his arm rose without his will, a wall of silver fire blazing upward. The blade struck and melted, the guardian collapsing in ash. Silence fell, the echoes fading. The stone ground still glowing but calm again. The man fell to his knees, chest heaving, his skin burning with light that would not fade, his hands trembling as if they belonged to someone else. The keeper's voice came softer now, almost sweet. You see, you cannot survive without me. You fight because I guide you. You win because I flow through your blood. The man pressed his hands to the stone, sweat dripping, his mind screaming out, No, it was me I fought, not you. Her laughter returned, low and warm. Believe what you wish. Human, but you felt it, did you not? The bond guiding you, the bond protecting you. You are not alone anymore. You will never be alone again. He shivered because it was true. He had felt her in every movement, every strike, like invisible hands moving him, like strings pulling him in the dance of battle. And part of him hated it, but part of him wanted more. The cracks in the stone closed slowly, the light fading. But from the darkness at the edge of the horizon, more shadows stirred, taller, heavier, waiting for their turn. The keeper whispered almost gently now. This was only the first trial, many more wait, each harder, each sharper. You must grow stronger, or you will break, and if you break, then I will break too, and neither of us will escape. The man lifted his head, his eyes burning with tired fire. Escape, that is all I want. I don't want your power. I don't want your bond. The voice sighed, long and patient. You may not want it, but it wants you. The spring does not give without cost. The bond does not ask, it takes, and it has taken you. Human. He staggered to his feet, weak but standing, staring at the endless horizon of stone and shadow, his heart heavy, his soul trembling, and then, from far across the plain, a sound rose, deep and booming. A roar that shook the stars above. A roar not of guardians, not of shadows, but something greater, older. The keeper's voice hushed, almost reverent. Ah, the prison stirs, they have felt you, they have smelled the bond. Your trials have only begun. And now the true enemy wakes. The man clenched his fists, light still flickering in his skin, fear heavy in his chest, but also something else, a spark of defiance. And as the roar echoed again, shaking the world, he whispered to himself, I will not break, I will not belong, even though he knew the voice inside him was smiling. The roar rolled across the endless plain, shaking the black stone beneath his feet, stars above flickering as if afraid. The man stood frozen, his chest tight, his breath sharp. He had survived the guardians. But this sound was different, deeper, older, carrying weight that pressed on his bones. The keeper's voice returned, low and calm, almost like she was enjoying the fear in his chest. You hear it, yes, that is no guardian, that is no trial. That is one of the prisoners. Ancient, waiting, hungry, he turned slowly, scanning the horizon. The cracks in the stone glowing faint again, shifting like veins under skin, the land itself alive. Prisoners, he whispered, his throat dry. What is this place? The keeper laughed softly. The sound warm but cruel. You still do not see. This is no world, no planet. This is a prison built by a race long gone. They feared what they could not kill, so they locked it away, stone upon stone, light upon light. And then they poured me into the spring to watch over it. His stomach turned, his mind heavy. A prison. And I opened the door, he said, horror breaking his voice. Her voice curled around his thoughts. Not yet, only a crack, but cracks grow. And you are the key that widens them. The man staggered back, his legs weak, his heart pounding. I won't do it. I won't free them. But the keeper's tone sharpened. Hard as glass. You will, because the bond ties us. And the bond ties us to this place. If the prison breaks, we live. If it holds forever, we die inside it. There is no escape without release. He shook his head violently, his fists clenched. No. I will find a way out. I don't need you. I don't need this curse. Her laugh echoed again, filling the empty plain. Oh, human, so full of denial, so small, yet you still imagine choice. But choice was gone the moment you drank. Your soul is ink upon the contract. And the contract is mine. The stone cracked wider behind him. Light spilling out, and from it rose something vast. A figure taller than towers, bound in chains of black fire. Its body made of shifting crystal and molten rock. Its face hidden beneath a mask with 1,000 eyes. Each one opening slowly, staring straight at him. The man froze, his breath caught, his skin crawling as the eyes blinked in unison. The creature's voice thundered. Not words but raw sound, like mountains breaking, like oceans falling. The keeper's whisper returned. Hushed now, almost reverent. Do you see, human? That is why the prison exists. To hold what should never walk free. To hold what even gods feared. The giant strained against its chains, fire splitting from the cracks in its skin. Its roar breaking the stars above, and the man fell to his knees, the weight of its presence crushing him. Stand, the keeper hissed, sharp and urgent now. Stand, do not show weakness, it can smell weakness. It can taste it. His body trembled, his arms shaking, but somehow he stood, his chest heaving, his fists clenched, silver light flickering faint on his skin. The creature leaned closer, its 1,000 eyes blazing, its chains groaning, and though its voice was not words, his mind twisted the sound into meaning. Little spark, little thief, you carry the keeper. You carry the key, break the chains, set me free. The man shook his head, voice breaking. No, I won't. I won't free you, the creature laughed. A sound like earthquakes rolling forever. You already began, you cannot stop. Every breath you take cracks the seal. Every beat of your heart widens the door. You are the weakness, human. You are the flaw. The keeper's voice cut across his panic, strong now, burning. Do not listen, he lies, they all lie, they want only ruin. I am your shield against them. But the man's thoughts spun, fear and doubt burning, his voice shaking. Shield or prison guard, what are you really? The keeper was silent for a moment, then whispered low, both, perhaps. But I am also your bond. Without me, you are nothing. Without me, you would already be ash. The giant strained again, the chains breaking slightly, sparks raining down like burning stars, the ground splitting wider, cracks racing across the plain. And the man fell to one knee, the light beneath glowing hot. Run, the keeper commanded, sharp as a blade. Now, before the seal shatters, before he breaks free, he stumbled to his feet, running across the endless plain, the black stone shaking, cracks opening, heat rushing upward, shadows racing beside him. The keeper's voice guiding. Left, now right, jump the crack faster. Behind him the roar grew louder. The chains breaking one by one, but somehow he kept running. His chest burning, his legs on fire. At last he reached a ridge of jagged stone. The ground rising high, he scrambled up, hands bleeding, his breath ragged, and when he reached the top, he looked back, the giant still strained, the chains glowing white, the prison walls shaking. But it had not yet broken free, its 1,000 eyes fixed on him, promising that it would. The keeper's whisper returned, soft again, curling into his ear. Do you see now, human? This is the truth, the prison is broken, the end is coming, and only with me can you survive what wakes. The man stared at the horizon, the stone plain splitting apart, the stars above burning and dying in the same breath. His heart heavy, his soul trembling, he whispered to himself, half in fear, half in defiance. Then I am trapped in your prison, in theirs. In mine, and the keeper's voice, gentle but endless, answered, yes, human. But trapped together, and together we will decide who breaks first. The man sat on the jagged ridge, his chest rising and falling, sweat on his face, his hands still glowing faintly. Far below, the giant strained against its chains, roaring in fury, but for now it remained trapped. The plain was quiet again, too quiet, no wind, no stars moving, only the echo of his own heartbeat. He pressed his palms to the stone, whispering, I have to get out. I have to escape this place. The keeper's voice came soft, like silk sliding across his skin. Escape, yes. But escape has a price, everything does, and the spring has already claimed you. He closed his eyes, shaking his head. I don't want your bond. I don't want your power, I want to be free. Her laugh was low. Smooth, patient, free human. Do you even know what that means? Your kind is never free. They are bound to hunger, to fear, to death. I can give you something beyond that, something no human has ever touched. The man opened his eyes, staring at the strange stars above. What could you possibly give me, except chains? At once the stone beneath him rippled like water. Light spreading out in waves, the plain became a mirror. And in that mirror he saw visions, not his reflection, but futures. He saw himself standing on a battlefield, silver fire burning from his skin, human soldiers behind him cheering, alien armies falling before him, whole worlds bowing to his command. The keeper whispered, with me, you could lead your people. No more fear, no more weakness. No more running from stronger races. Humanity would rise above them all. The vision shifted. Now he stood on a throne of steel, stars swirling around him, leaders from 100 worlds kneeling at his feet, his voice a command that shook galaxies, his name spoken with awe and dread. His chest tightened, his heart pounding. Part of him wanted to look away, but part of him leaned closer, drawn to the sight. The feeling, the promise, but then the vision darkened, the mirror showing another future, his face older, his eyes glowing not with life but with alien fire, his body moving not by his will but hers. He stood above cities burning, his hands destroying all he once loved. The keeper's voice grew hushed, almost sweet. Every gift carries a shadow. Every bond has two sides, but remember, human, power does not come to those who fear it. It comes to those who take it. The man staggered back, pulling away from the mirror, his voice breaking. No, I won't be your puppet. I won't burn worlds for you. Her laugh slid into his mind, smooth and sharp. And yet you already fight with my hands. You already bleed with my fire. Do not lie to yourself. You want it, you tasted it, and you will taste it again. He pressed his fists to his head, shouting, I don't belong to you. But the bond burned in his chest, searing pain spreading through his ribs, forcing him to his knees. The keeper's tone hardened. Do not resist. Resistance brings pain. Surrender brings strength. You cannot undo the drink. You cannot untie the bond. You can only choose how to use it. His breath came in ragged gasps, sweat dripping, his body shaking. The pain like knives inside him. Stop, he begged, please. Stop. The pain faded slowly, replaced with warmth, almost comforting. Her voice soft again, wrapping around him like a blanket. See, I do not wish to harm you. But you must learn we are one now, and if you fight me, you fight yourself. The man knelt on the stone, trembling, his eyes wet, his heart torn between defiance and temptation. Between fear and desire, the stars above flickered, new constellations forming, strange shapes he did not know, voices whispering from them, calling his name, urging him to give in, to stop fighting. The keeper spoke again, lower now, almost tender. I can give you more than power, human. I can give you belonging. I can give you purpose. You will not be alone. Never again. He clenched his fists, whispering to himself. Belonging. Purpose. Words that dug deep into him. Words he had chased all his life. Even before the spring, her voice pressed closer. Sweet and heavy. Say yes and you will see wonders. Say yes, and you will stand above death itself. All I ask is that you trust me. He closed his eyes, his body trembling, his mind burning. His soul caught between the promise of glory and the terror of slavery. The plane shook again, a deep rumble echoing across the stone. The giant below straining harder, cracks spreading wider, fire spilling into the sky. The keeper's whisper grew urgent. Do you see, the prison cannot hold forever? You must choose, fight with me and live, or deny me and be broken. The man rose slowly, his legs weak, his fists clenched, his eyes burning with both fear and fire. No, he whispered, his voice cracking. I won't surrender, not to you, not to them. The ground split wide before him, the stone tearing apart, and from the crack a massive gate rose, carved with alien runes that glowed red. Its surface trembling as if something behind it pounded to be free. The keeper's voice was soft again, almost a caress. Then your next trial waits, human. Beyond that gate lies your answer, your strength, and perhaps your end. He stared at the gate, his heart racing, his breath shallow, his mind caught in the storm of temptation and fear. And though he whispered to himself, I won't belong, deep inside he knew the bond was smiling, waiting and hungry. The gate stood tall before him, black stone rising higher than mountains, its surface covered with runes that glowed red like burning coals, each rune pulsing as if alive, each one beating in rhythm with his own heart. The man stared at it, his chest heavy, his fists clenched. What waits behind it, he whispered, though he was not sure if he wanted the answer. The keeper's voice came slow, smooth, and dark. Not a guardian, not a shadow, but one of the oldest, one of the first prisoners, an enemy so feared that even gods could not destroy it. They locked it here and prayed the chains would hold. But now it feels you, it feels us, and it is waking. His throat tightened, sweat on his brow. I can't face that, I won't fight a monster like that. The keeper's laugh was soft, but it carried a sharp edge. You will because you must. The gate opens because of you, the bond draws it. If you run, it will still find you. If you stand, I can give you strength to match it. He turned away, gripping his head, whispering, No, no, I won't be your weapon. The ground trembled, the runes flaring brighter. Cracks racing across the gate, a sound like drums echoing from within, slow at first, then faster, each beat shaking the plane. The keeper's tone sharpened. Decide quickly, human. The gate will not wait for your fear. With a thunderous crack, the stone split, a line of white fire cutting down its center, and from that line poured smoke, thick and black, spreading like wings across the horizon. The man stumbled back, covering his mouth, the air choking, his heart pounding, and then he saw it. A figure stepping through the smoke, taller than towers, its body made of shifting armor and living shadow, its eyes burning like suns trapped in cages of bone. The ground shook with every step, its claws dragging sparks from the stone, its voice a roar that rattled his ribs. Who dares wake me? Who dares disturb my prison? The man froze, unable to breathe, his knees trembling, his skin pale. The keeper's whisper pressed close, urgent now. Do not bow, do not show fear, stand, human. You are my chosen, you are mine, you must fight. But the man's voice cracked. I can't, I'm just a man. I can't fight that. The creature laughed, a sound like mountains breaking. A man, yes, only a man, yet I smell more. I smell her in you, keeper, your chains are broken. You hide inside this fragile body. How pitiful. The keeper's tone turned sharp, her whisper slicing like steel. Silence, beast, I am not broken, I am bound no longer. And through him I will end you. The man shook his head violently. No, not through me, I won't be your puppet. The monster crouched low, its claws carving deep into the stone. Then he will die, and with him, you will die too, keeper. It charged, faster than his eyes could follow. The ground cracking, fire exploding with every step, its shadow stretching like a storm. The keeper screamed in his mind. Move now. His body obeyed without thought, silver fire bursting from his skin as he leapt aside. The creature's claws striking where he had stood, stone shattering like glass. He rolled, gasping, his hands glowing. The keeper's voice fierce. Strike him, aim for the joints. Trust me. No, he shouted. I won't give in. But his arms moved anyway, fire bursting from his palms, striking the monster's shoulder, Sparks flying, the beast roaring. Pain shot through his chest, the bond tightening, his vision blurring, half his body burning with her power. Half screaming for freedom, the monster swung again. A fist like a mountain slamming down, he barely raised his arms. Silver light flaring to shield him, the impact throwing him across the plain. Stone cracking under his body. He coughed blood, his body broken, his mind screaming. And the keeper whispered softer now, almost gentle. "Do you see, human? You cannot survive without me. Let me in, let me guide, and you will win." Tears burned his eyes, his heart torn. "If I let you, I lose myself," her reply came sweet and cruel. "Or you find who you were meant to be." The monster stomped closer, chain still dragging from its arms, its eyes blazing hotter, its roar shaking the sky. "You are weak, human, you are nothing." The man staggered to his feet, silver fire flickering weakly, his voice raw. "I am nothing, yes, but I will not kneel." The keeper's voice purred, pleased. "Good. Stand tall, and let us burn together." The monster raised its claws for the killing strike, and the man felt the bond surge, stronger than before, silver light pouring from his skin, his body moving in perfect rhythm with her whisper. Faster, sharper, no hesitation, he leapt high, fire trailing behind him, his fist slamming into the monster's face, the explosion blinding, the roar deafening. The monster stumbled, blood and shadow spilling, but it did not fall. It laughed, its voice shaking the heavens. "Good, keeper, very good." But not enough. The man landed hard, his chest heaving, his hands burning. The keeper's voice calm again, almost smiling. "Now you see, this is only the beginning. This is the enemy. This is why we must be one." He stared at his trembling hands, his voice breaking. "If I keep fighting with you, I lose myself. If I don't, I die." The gate behind the monster glowed brighter, more shapes moving in the smoke. Other prisoners stirring, other voices rising. The keeper whispered, soft and final, "Then choose, human, die as yourself, or live as us." And as the monster roared again, chains snapping free, the man knew his choice could no longer be delayed. The chains shattered one by one, black fire spilling into the sky. The monster stepped forward, its shadow covering the plain, its roar shaking the stars above. The man stood trembling, his body broken, his skin still glowing with faint silver light. He wanted to run. Every bone in his body begged to flee. But the prison had no doors, no escape, only stone, only endless sky, and the beast in front of him. The keeper's voice pressed close, sharp and soft. "This is the end, human. Without me you die. With me you live. You cannot fight it alone. You never could." The man clenched his fists, his heart burning, his breath ragged. "If I let you in, I lose myself." Her laugh was low, heavy. "Lose or become? What is the difference? When the choice is death or glory." The monster's claws scraped against the stone, sparks raining, its eyes burning like suns. It raised its arm high, ready to crush him in one blow. The keeper screamed inside his mind. "Now, human, decide now." The man closed his eyes, his body trembling, his soul torn, and in that final heartbeat before the strike, he whispered, "Do it." The bond erupted, fire flooding his veins, silver light exploding from his skin, not a flicker now, but a storm. His body no longer his own. Hers and his fused, their voices one. The monster's claw slammed down, but the blow stopped inches above him. Caught in a shield of pure light, the man opened his eyes, and they were no longer only his. Her eyes glowed within them. Burning endless, he roared. Their voices blended, human and keeper together. "We are not prey," and his fist struck upward, the impact bursting like a star. The monster staggering back, cracks spreading across its mask. The beast screamed, chains snapping fully free, fire and shadow pouring from its wounds, but he no longer stumbled, no longer feared, his movement smooth, perfect, guided and guiding. His strength doubled, his speed unstoppable. They fought as one, silver light against black flame, each strike shaking the plain, each roar tearing the sky, the prison trembling as if it could not hold the battle within. The keeper whispered through him, fierce and exultant, "Yes, this is what we are. This is what we were meant to be." And he felt her joy mixing with his rage, her power surging through his will. He struck again and again, silver fire cutting through armor, the beast stumbling, roaring, but never falling. Its voice thundered, "You are nothing. You are only a vessel," he shouted back, his words echoing with hers. "I am more than you. I am more than chains," his fists blazing brighter. At last he leapt high, higher than before, silver fire trailing like a comet. his body twisting in the air, both their voices crying out as one, "Fall!" His strike crashing into the monster's chest, the explosion tearing through stone, light, and shadow clashing in a storm. The plane shook, cracks racing to the horizon, stars above flickering out. The monster roared one last time, its body splitting apart, shattering into smoke and fire, until only silence remained. The man collapsed to his knees, chest heaving, silver light still burning in his veins. The keeper's presence strong, her voice soft now, curling like silk. "You see, together we cannot be broken. Together we are power." He stared at his reflection in the cracked stone, but it was not only his face staring back. Her face hovered in it too, her eyes glowing in his, her smile faint and knowing, his breath caught, his voice breaking. I can't tell where I end and you begin." Her whisper came tender, almost loving. "That is because there is no end. Human, no line, we are one now, bound forever, you are mine. And I am yours." He tried to resist, tried to push her voice away. But his chest only burned sharper, his body trembling, until at last he lowered his head, whispering, "Then we are both cursed." She laughed gently. "No, we are blessed, for now we belong not to chains, not to fear, but to each other." The prison groaned, stone breaking, other gates trembling, other roars rising in the distance, more prisoners waking, more enemies stirring. The keeper's voice grew firm, filled with hunger. "They will come, they will rise, but together we will fight. Together we will rule. No one will chain us again." The man stood slowly, silver fire steady in his skin, his reflection glowing with her eyes. His soul no longer alone, no longer his own. He whispered, voice calm now, voice shared. "Together." And the keeper smiled inside him, her whisper answering like a promise. "Together we belong." And as the horizon split, as more shadows stirred, as the prison shook, the man walked forward, no longer just human, no longer just himself, but something greater, something bound, something born anew. The stars trembled above, the gates burned below, and in the silence between heartbeats he knew the story of his belonging had only just begun.